What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. And today for this show, we have a shitload of things to go over, but we're going to try and keep it short. Let's get into it. Starting off the show, Chris Pratt was quote-unquote blown away by the Mario teaser. I can't wait to see it, see what everything's about, really see how they interpreted the Mario characters. We also found out Scorn is only 6 hours long, which is disappointing. I thought it'd be more like Doom's playtimes. But, you know, obviously it's a puzzle game, so nothing too crazy there. Embracer also was disappointed in Saints Row's numbers. Still looking into the franchise's future, though. That's just it's great. It's fantastic to see that they're still looking into it. Maybe you can figure out what went I'm fucking Scooby. What went wrong? What went wrong? Now I'm fucking up, man. What went wrong with the development cycle? But yeah, it's very interesting to see where the next Saints Row is gonna go, if they want to kind of what the hell they're gonna do. AI voice actors are also reportedly taking over, with a bunch of articles came out this week talking about, you know, actual voice actors that are concerned and for their job security, which makes complete sense. And, you know, also, you know, many of these programs, you know, hitting the web. But, you know, with these examples on the web, I think people need to understand that this is a long way off. You know, we're 10 to 15 years before even they could replicate an extra, like a random civilian in Grand Theft Auto, per se, you know, because it can't, it's choppy, it doesn't really say things correct, you know, it can't say certain words like blood. One of them couldn't say blood, so I think it's a while off. And when it comes to like mainstream like actors for like mainline characters like Nico Bellic and you know like the Borderlands characters, it's almost impossible to make a genuine person, you know, out of an AI. So I think we're a long way off for that, but that is the future, and you know it's coming one day. So you gotta, you know, be on the lookout for that. Resident Evil 4 is also hitting PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which I didn't know anything about this. I thought, you know, they was going full next gen with it, but the Microsoft Store leak kind of got my attention on it. You know, if we're gonna look at it at face value, the PlayStation's way, you know, method is outdated. It just doesn't look as sleek. You know, you have PS4 version and PS5 version, and then like if you have a PS4 version, you could also put it in your PS5 and get a free upgrade or something. It's just really confusing. But then you have Xbox over here having a combo effect to where, you know, you could buy this game for your Xbox One, and then somewhere down the road you get a Series X, and you can just plop it in that bitch too, and it just gives it an upgrade, a little facelift. That's amazing. You know, that's really the future in transitioning through gaming cycles that I think Sony is missing out on. So, you know, because if you're just a regular Xbox One fan right now, and you just can't get your hands on a Series X, or you got a PS5 but you can't get a Series X, you can still collect, and it actually means something compared to if you get a PS4 version. You might not get that free upgrade, you might not get to see the upgrade version, you know. So it's a thought, you know. Edge Runners also has revived the Cyberpunk 2077 sales. I don't know if it really has too much to do with it. It could be with the millions of people watching on Netflix, but I think the expansion really is bringing people back as well. I've seen so many people talking about how they, you know, they're gonna give it another shot, or it's been long enough, they're gonna go check it out. And I'm just done, bro. I played 120 hours, and I'm just not interested in going back and redoing it. The endings weren't really that crazily different, you know, and the game itself is just a grind to even get multiple endings. So it's just, I'm done, you know. And I even thought in my head, I'm like, well, you know, I did play it on the PS4 Pro. Maybe this new updated version will be worth the time. And I'm just thinking, like, I actually didn't have too many problems with the PS4 Pro version, other than, you know, you had some clip-ins and, you know, frame rate issues occasionally, pop-ins. Nothing crazy though. I've seen some wacky shit on YouTube that I was shocked. But yeah, I'm done. I'm not going back. Maybe the next expansion, if it looks like they innovated enough, maybe I'll go back. But also, I've been playing the Modern Warfare 2 beta. Well, I played for about, I think, 2 days or so, and that was obviously, it's just disappointing that Infinity Ward isn't listening to the fans. I think they should make multiple game modes, you know, maybe a classic Call of Duty mode that, you know, can resonate with the majority of fans. And I get it, they don't want to do that and then have everybody leave their new project that they spent years in their head working on. They're like, man, we just made that stuff, but it got trumped by all this shit that people actually want. You know? So I don't know how I feel about that. But to me personally, the game isn't bad. The new perk system isn't bad. The gunsmith is kind of irritating. That was one thing I noted on in another video I made regarding the beta. You know, the gunsmith having to use shitty weapons to unlock other weapons just is a chore. You know, especially if the gun is ass and you're not digging it. So that kind of sucks. But you know, overall, I think the beta actually was the biggest beta in the franchise's history, so that's wild. But there was a lot of controversy around it too, so that probably did it. We also get this Gears of War patent that came up this week. A lot of people just went crazy talking about, you know, it's going to be Gears of War 6, a Gears of War reboot. I think it's personally going to be, you know, just a Master Chief style collection, but for the Gears of War fans. And that's going to be really awesome. You know, maybe 3-4 years down the road we get a reboot or a sequel to 5. You know, we just need something for the Gears of War fans. I feel like it's been forever since it's been in its prime. You know, Gears of War 3 and 4 I think were the last ones that I played. I played 5 a little bit, but I don't think I really played too much of it. I got a couple achievements and then dipped. But yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. The Last of Us trailer came out. That was disappointing. Not digging Ellie. Not my style. Pedro looks like he could pull it off, but he's also not my number one pick, like, at all. So that's concerning. But Ellie, man, I don't even know. Like, apparently she was in Game of Thrones, which I love Game of Thrones. Don't remember that little bitch in Game of Thrones. So that's concerning. That is a red flag. So I'm nervous, you know. But if it's good, I'll watch it. If it's ass, I won't. That's just how it's gonna go. But hopefully Pedro pulls off Joel. He looks like he's getting into the part a little bit. But there's so many other actors that could have played Joel and did kind of like better justice to the character itself, you know. But obviously the entire internet just doesn't give a fuck. They're like, oh, I can't wait to see how this turns out. And I'm like, I already know it's gonna be fucking off. It's gonna be off. It's not gonna be. There's no way they can recreate some of the scenes from The Last of Us. It's just not gonna happen. You know, it literally will not happen. It's just frustrating, is all. Also, Disney is shooting for 2 Star Wars games per year. I think, you know, seeing the timeline, there's been a lot of interesting, you know, like Quantic Dreams game looks really interesting. But, you know, if they're bad games, I'm out. If they're great, totally in support. Use the licensing respectfully, and let's get some Star Wars, you know. Like, get that Star Wars 1313 back on track. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? E3 2023 got announced. What are your guys' thoughts? I think it's, you know, E3 it's a different landscape now. I think with all these companies doing their own showcases, and, you know, the fact we have Summer Games Fest and the Video Game Awards, there's just not that much left for E3. I feel like, you know, it's gonna be kind of dry, you know, and they need to get Nintendo and Sony. That's a must. You know, if they do that, they got a little, you know, sliver of faith. But other than that, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. It ain't like it's 2015 anymore, you know. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. We also got this was funny. My girlfriend knew about this faster than I did. I guess this is old news, but ScoobyDoo was originally rated R, says James Gunn. So that's interesting. Apparently, it was just because his humor style pushes the envelope a little bit. So that's expected, I guess. I'm curious to what the jokes were. I'm sure there was a Mary Jane joke or something, which they got one in, and that was for. So you can imagine what they really put in the movie. I want to see what it was, but I don't know if we're ever gonna get it. But it would be interesting if they did something with that. But I found that interesting. Thought I'd bring that up a little bit. Rick also got added to the multiverses. If all you Rick and Morty fans, that's I'm not big into it, but they did a hell of a lot better job than what was that, Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. So yeah, I don't know. Rick is. I think they have Morty in it too. Morty is also in it, so you can do Rick and Morty busting everybody up. So check that out. Netflix has its new in-house mobile gaming studio, which is disappointing. Hopefully they use this platform to potentially one day make full budget games like a Stranger Things or any of their IPs that are big, make a game out of it. And that would be really cool if we had like an Until Dawn style Stranger Things, that'd be really cool. Definitely could see the potential in that, but I don't know if they're ever going to go that far. Netflix is kind of in hot water right now. But we also got the white Xbox Series X nonsense. I just assumed it's for the trailer. Everything's white in the trailer. You just didn't you think that was a coincidence? But some people thought it was really going to be on the market. That was funny. But yeah, hopefully they do another color. I'm not really into white anyway. If they ever pick another color, do silver, do chrome, do something to make the system pop, because it's ugly as hell. It's an ugly system in general, so definitely want to see where that goes though, if they ever make another palette. But Marvel's Blade lost its director the other day. That was, I know it shocked everybody, and it made people think, is the movie in bad shape? And I think honestly it's just script changes, because the script was said to be only like 90 pages, which is really short for a Marvel movie. So I think logically they're adding and rewriting, and he just doesn't have the time to allocate it to Blade. But yeah, I mean, it's not terrible news. I don't think any of the casting is being changed or anything like that. But if it's not rated R, I'm dropping like 2-3 points, because I know it's not going to be amazing. But I mean, it doesn't have to be rated R, because when he kills the vampires, they disintegrate. So, but we'll just have to see. We also got some positive Marvel news. Ryan Reynolds announced Wolverine for Deadpool 3. That was fucking phenomenal. We got a release date for September 6th, 2024. Cannot wait. There's so much to unpack there. Just this, like, what are we getting? Is Wolverine getting put in the Secret Wars? What is going on? What is the future? What kind of movie is it going to be? Is it going to be them versus each other for the first half, and they got to team up? And what's the main villain? There's so many questions, but obviously I'm glad that they didn't drag this out for a whole year before we even find out about Hugh Jackman. That would have been really disappointing, but I'm excited. I'm pumped. I had to make a video literally right after I seen the video. I'm like, oh my god, they gotta know. Everyone's gotta know. But yeah, we also got this new leak that says the Joker is the next Warner Bros. IP joining the multiverse. So that's interesting. I only really added this in because I thought it was interesting that what Joker are we gonna get? Obviously we already have Harley Quinn, which I think is like the Suicide Squad version. Are we gonna get Jared Leto's Joker? Are we gonna get Joaquin, I can never pronounce his fucking name, Joaquin Phoenix, I can't fucking, but yeah, which Joker are we gonna get? There's like 15. So that's really interesting. we got a couple PlayStation Plus games that were revealed the other day. Not a huge lineup, just Hot Wheels Unleashed and Injustice 2, which I think was already on PlayStation Plus, if I'm not wrong. But also I thought there was a VR game, but it's actually just a base regular version of a game that is widely known as a VR game, so that's kind of disappointing. But I can play it, so that's crazy. Like I'm disappointed in them, but also I can now play what it is. So we also got some recent sales charts were made for some interesting readings. Honestly, overall, there hasn't been too much changes, but what I can say is, you know, with the shortages slowing down with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, you know, and COVID pretty much being over at this point, the Nintendo Switch has begun to kind of slow. You know, obviously they're still performing the best, hands down, can't deny that, but they're slowing down. And you can see it on the chart. I'm like, oh shit. And next week will be a little bit less, and I'm sure we'll have a spike in November, December time, but you know, it's curious to see who is going to win not only the regions, because you have, excuse me, we have the Americas, we have Europe and Asia. Asia's obviously, you know, Nintendo and Sony's kind of land, but you know, will Microsoft overtake Sony in Asia? That would be really fucking interesting. You know, Europe, PlayStation 5 is on top. Will it remain on top? Will the Switch get defeated by the Xbox, you know, later this year? Huge things. America's probably the tightest. You know, all three are kind of going to clash in November, December, which is going to be really interesting. And, you know, I can't wait for it. I can't wait to just compare all three. You know, maybe at the end of the year we can do a Next Gen Charts episode and kind of look at all of them in general and kind of get a sense of how things kind of trailed through the year. But yeah, that's really interesting. We also have the PlayStation Stars concerning feature, which honestly, it's if you didn't know, the new PlayStation Stars loyalty program is going to be on different tier levels. So the more that you participate, get trophies, and buy games on the store, which that's like the biggest red flag ever. But the more you do that, the more you'll be upgraded in each tier. Apparently, if you get to tier 4, you're going to be able to have a priority over customer service versus the other tiers, which is really batshit to me. And it also kind of irritates me that they said nothing about physical media. So if I buy a game at GameStop, put it in my PlayStation 5, get a bunch of trophies, I only got an increase from getting the trophies because it doesn't count it as a PlayStation Store game. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. Doesn't sound cool. There definitely needs to be some changes because customer service shouldn't be reliant on how many games you buy or play or anyway. That's just fucked up. But you know, also, like, if you're gonna increase your score from buying PlayStation Store games, you might as well do physical media too. I don't see the fucking problem, but maybe this is just a beta test drive, and then they're gonna kind of implement a bunch of other features, hopefully, I'd imagine, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Skull and Bones also got delayed to March 2023. That was not something that I expected waking up. I didn't expect that. I thought that it was well on its way. You know, obviously I wasn't worried for it, not crazy, but I was concerned. I'm like, are they really expecting to launch next to God of War, Ragnarok, and Sonic? I'm like, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of dumb. And then come find out they're like getting delayed. How many months is that? That's fucking 4 months. Getting a 4-month delay. So that's almost 5. So I don't know. I think it's also, you know, obviously, like I said in my video today or yesterday, there isn't really a fan base for Ubisoft as concrete as it used to be. So I think they're trying to win back their fan base. They know that this is the first one, and then after this it goes into the next Assassin's Creed and all this other shit that they got planned. across the board, but they need to do good on all fronts, and maybe the game isn't up to their status quo. And then you combine that with the fact that there's so many games coming out between November and all the way up till February. I don't believe March has too much. Let's take a look real quick. Live. Baby. Where's it at? Okay. Let's look at what is coming out next year. Because I really genuinely don't know what's in March. Yeah, there isn't much. There is a couple things though, but Skull and Bones is like in the middle of the month. It's on the 9th. So you have the day before going to Windows on the 1st. So that's not across the board. So really, so far, all they have is the Resident Evil 4 remake to compete with, you know, because February you have Dead Island 2. You have, and that's about it. That is about it. A Kirby game is coming out in February. January we have Forspoken and Dead Space. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of light. There isn't anything in April yet, but I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of announcements and release dates announced by then, and we can really take a look at how Skull and Bones might, you know, perform versus, but it can't be any worse than being next to God of War Ragnarok, like one of the biggest games of the year, and Sonic, which has a pretty good fan base. So it's just kind of stupid in my opinion, but yeah, the Stadia is officially dead or in the process of dying. It seems Google is still supporting it with bare minimum, with like the bare minimum being allocated to the actual Stadia platform. But you know, I read the article as they're shutting it down, but I think they're just slowly shutting it down. I'm confused. You know, they're offering up these refunds all the way to I believe it was like mid-January, right? But you can play it till mid-January. You'll get your refund, and you can play it until the middle of January next year. So that's cool. But what are you doing with the service? I mean, just shut it down. If it's not working and, you know, it's pretty much dead, just shut it down. You know, that made no sense when I went back and read that article. I'm like, so is it dead or is it not dead? You know? But there's also this other one I wanted to talk about. So this the ex-Battlefield developers, and they didn't say which Battlefield game they came from last, you know, but they're making a Cyberpunk free-to-play shooter called The Finals. The destruction looks stellar. It was in today or yesterday's video, and it does look pretty interesting. I think, if we're gonna be honest, it's probably gonna compete the most with Battlefield and Apex. I think they're definitely throwing shots at EA. They're like, look, we combined both your fucking games, bro. Boom. You know, because it looks very fun. Definitely want to see how the gameplay manages and all that, but it's an alpha, pre-alpha, so this isn't even the finished product, and this is definitely caught my eye. So we also got this rumor that Need for Speed Unbound is releasing in December with a reveal coming soon. I'm calling bullshit. I could be wrong, but who the fuck announces a game like 2 months before it releases? That's literally unheard of. You know, that makes no sense. So that's why I really didn't do anything with this one. I think I put it as a short today or yesterday, but yeah, I was calling bullshit. I'm not gonna put it in the main video because it just sounds stupid. When I read it, I'm like, you know, I could be wrong, but that does sound a little idiotic to me. And then the last news story that I kind of want to talk about is that, you know, Dead Space Remake is set to have 0 loading screens following God of War's one-shot style. That's really cool. I think the original got really close to doing this, but then it had to have loading screens in between the chapters because of the PS3. But, you know, obviously times have changed. Games should be much smoother, so that's awesome. I mean, I have no complaints about that. EA finally doing some good in the gaming world. But I mean, that's it for the news. Other than that, I mean, nothing's really been going on. We passed up on a couple horror movies because of the rain. I think Monday, you know, it just killed the day, to be honest. It started raining and we were just like, yeah, I'm just not feeling like driving out in the rain today. Don't know if it's gonna be crazy when we get out of there. And it was almost like someone was watching over me, you know, because the next day I seen that Smile is coming out this weekend. So we're gonna see that probably today or tomorrow. But yeah, we originally wanted to see that, and I thought it was already taken out of theaters because I didn't see it for Monday. So that's cool. That's the one I originally wanted to see. It looks pretty creepy. But I mean, what I've watched recently, we watched The Beast. The Beast was pretty disappointing. They didn't show the lion that much, and the daughters were kind of annoying us. But you know, not a terrible movie. Could have done way better. But we also watched Kevin Hart's comedy on Netflix, the one with Mark Wahlberg. I think it's called Me Time. That wasn't bad. Obviously, not the most top notch that either of those two have done, but you know, entertaining. We actually just been kind of binging the Dahmer show on Netflix. We're at episode 9. We got one more to go, I believe. So far, it's a good show. It's I don't really know too much about Jeffrey Dahmer's story. I think I know more about Ted Bundy and like Ed Gein, you know. But it was an interesting show. I honestly expected more when I heard Evan Peters was involved. I was expecting it to be a lot more gruesome and dirty, which they do kind of, you know, they give this full picture outlook on his apartment in the first couple episodes, and you do get a sense of like craziness, and just like if you've ever been to, you know, someone that, you know, like a real tweaker or someone that's just disassociated with society, the way that they live, it's, you know, it gave me those vibes. But you didn't get to see a couple of the scenes that like it cuts away, and that was kind of disappointing. And now that I'm pretty much done with the show, it's established that they really didn't want to show too much, but they did show a lot after the fact. Like when, you know, you're finding things or seeing photos, they did show a lot of details there. But I don't know, it's not a terrible show. Definitely want to see how it ends. But other than that, show wise, we just watched She-Hulk's latest episode today, and it's a mess. Definitely a mess. And we still haven't gotten to see Daredevil, which is just disappointing. You know, it's like they know that everybody's watching for the Daredevil tease, and he's probably not going to be in it that long. He's probably going to be in it for like 5-10 minutes, and it's just going to be disappointing. I feel like I have a gut feeling, you know, and I don't even know how many episodes they're supposed to have, you know. She-Hulk, we're on like 8. Is there 10, 12? What are you doing? And they're so short. They're like 25-minute episodes. Nothing happens in any of them. It's just a shit show. And we watch it to make fun of it. Don't judge us. We just watch it to fuck with it, you know? Like, we know people are going to watch it regardless. The little minority that watches shit shows. But I think, you know, I don't know. They could have did so much better with She-Hulk. So disappointed and frustrated at Kevin Feige. And then you had fucking what's his face? Man, what was his name? Or Anthony Mackie. He was praising She-Hulk. I'm like, bro, why? I had so much love and respect for you and your movies, and then you just had to go and praise dog shit. Like, I get it, it's his job. I think I talked about that last podcast actually. But yeah, She-Hulk's a mess, big old mesh. But other than that, I mean, I have a bunch of shit I want to watch. I have a shitload of shows and movies I got to get through, and then I'll tell you guys my first impressions on the podcast about them. But game-wise, what I've been playing, Gran Turismo 7 mostly. But I do got to start something new, because I just finished Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, I think 3 or 4 days ago. I can't remember. It wasn't that long of a playthrough. I didn't play it on like expert settings or anything. I'm not a fucking pro, and it was frustrating at times. But yeah, it was a decent game. It was definitely not my favorite Final Fantasy game, but entertaining, I guess. But you know, overall, I mean, nothing's going on. I mean, I want to turn this podcast into something decent, but I don't know how to do it. You know, like every week I want to present the news. You know, that's like the main thing. And I do need to kind of form like a better script for the show itself, but I kind of just want it to be this laissez-faire, chill, laid back, relaxing show. So I don't know what I really want to, how I'm going to do it, but I do want to present the news, you know, some movie news, some mostly gaming news, you know, and then kind of like what I've been up to, because we go to the theater literally like almost weekly or bi-weekly. Sometimes if there's nothing out, we'll go like once a month, but it's about to get into movie season, so I can always tell you guys what movies we've been kind of like passing on and going to see, and what games I've been playing. You know, if we rented a movie recently or some shit, definitely give my hot take on that. But there really hasn't been too much going on. I think I'm just focusing on the channel, trying to get everything going, but you know, nothing too crazy. Definitely want to maybe look into playing Diablo 2. Still have it on my PS5 and haven't really touched it, but you know, a couple hours. So, but after this, I'm probably gonna binge some shows, figure out something. But yeah, nothing's really been going on. It's been kind of shitty, raining like constantly. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been the Wolf's Den. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the Wolf Pack. Peace out.